Previously on Old Iron Adventures. Alex and the Aumann Auctions crew worked through the brutal heat at the Bright Pioneer Museum, where they were successful in starting up incredible pieces of vintage power history. Then, Roger and Austin finished their walkthrough of the wonderful Knickerbocker ship collection, before finishing up and getting these massive ships on the road back to Nokomis. Aumann Auctions has been in business for over 60 years and has been the leading force around the world in vintage power. And we're going to show you why. Through adventures around the world, you'll see vintage tractors, trucks, cars, memorabilia, and so much more. Aumann Auctions isn't just an auction company, but a group of men and women with a passion for the stories behind these items. Welcome to Old Iron Adventures. Up in Leonard, Michigan, Chris Hudson returns to the Gary Sutherby collection, where we get to see the open house just before these items will bid farewell to the family. Earlier this season, Chris and Avery worked hard, cataloging this beautiful tractor collection, making sure it gets the best pictures and descriptions before hitting the market.
So today we are at the Gary Sutherby auction sale. We're doing the open house today. We've had a lot of people in and out of here looking at stuff. We've probably had, I don't know, a couple or a few hundred people in and out of here, and it's not even noon yet. Really busy talking to people, running tractors. There's a group of 3 to 5 guys at any given time working out here. I think we have 10 days out here dragging equipment and gathering parts and farm primitives. First, we got all the big pieces out. Then after we got all the big pieces of equipment out, we started sorting through all the small things. And once we started sorting through all the small things, it was pretty evident that there was a lot of items here. I think we have over 600 lots of, between the tractors, the parts, the shop equipment, you have it, literature. When we started pulling stuff out of the buildings, there was stuff in the rafters, there was wagons wired to the ceilings, there was just a lot of stuff everywhere. Every inch of space was utilized in all of these buildings here.
So I think that my earliest memories of my dad's collection is when he first was interested in one-cylinder gas engines, and we would go on vacation or be someplace, and he would see one sitting outside of a barn or in a cement mixer or whatever it was, and stop and go knock on a door, and we'd sit there for 2 hours while he was talking to somebody, and often end up with a gas engine in the back of the truck. One time we were out in South Dakota on a vacation, and he bought so much stuff the back of the truck was filled up, and we had a travel trailer with us, and there was a gas engine that we would set in the doorway of the trailer and then take it out every night so that we could use the trailer and get back in. But he enjoyed just finding things, kind of out in some farmer's field, and then stopping and trying to buy that. So I think that what's kind of special about this is, particularly with the tractors, my dad collected for a lot of years, and he worked, farmed, and he worked at Ford, and he was always buying old tractors. He'd buy 2 of something because they needed parts, and he didn't ever do any work on them. And he always said, when I retire, I'm gonna restore. That's gonna be my retirement. And he literally went from retired on a Friday and Saturday morning through every day. He would get up, have breakfast, come out, and just work in his shop, working on restoring a tractor one at a time, and come back for lunch, and it became his job, and he loved it. And then he and my mom really started traveling a lot when they would need a part or need to take a tractor apart to make a casting for somebody else or vice versa. And they traveled all over the U.S. And just really made a lot of really good friends. And so it really was just a passion for him. And I think he learned a lot from a lot of people, and I think he passed along a lot to others. So it was just kind of his whole passion and certainly his retirement.
Getting right to it, Alex and his crew continue to work on the Bright collection. Time is important for Aumann Auctions. As every second passes, the crew must get things done before the power washers show up, and before most of the crew must head back home.
All right, so it's day 3 and we are out here. Sun's already up. We got here at 5 a.m. to try and beat the heat a little bit, and we got some descriptions outside. It's already starting to beat down on us a little bit, but we do have all the cars and everything out, so we've got the power washer running, getting everything knocked off as far as the dust goes and any kind of junk that's been on the cars. So we've got guys here pressure washing, running through them, and they are looking a whole lot better already. So we're going to get them to go through the cars first, then go to some of the tractors, get those knocked off, and hopefully everything's going to look a whole lot better in some time. So DJ, Emily, Shannon, Cody, they've all been working outside while the pull-out crew is kind of getting everything as far as inside the building out. They've been working hard getting things tagged, described, photos. They've taken, at this point, they've taken thousands and thousands of photos just of each item that's going into 2 of the separate auctions that are going to go off. So they've about got those knocked out, so we're going to start moving towards these. Once these get done, that's what their next project is going to be. So the big thing for today is to get everything out of the building. We've got the crew here or part of the crew is here for a limited amount of time, so we've got to get everything out of the building so we can get it washed up, cataloged, and in line. And once we get done with that, some of the key items are going to go back in the building for storage until the open house. So we really need to get that done today before we run out of having the full crew. The rest of the crew is going to stay here, catalog. We're just not going to be doing as much moving. So it's nicer to have a lot more hands when we've got things moving around and a lot more stuff going on. So we need to get that done today. And once we get that done, then we're kind of home free and we'll just kind of take things a little easier.
On behalf of the Bright family and Arthur Bright and his Pioneer exhibit, we want to welcome you all to his dispersion of his most prized possessions. As you all know, in 1986, he had a big sale, sold 300 or 400 cars, 600 or 700 tractors and other stuff. But as that sale ended, he had a low bed that came in through the yard with his case steamer on it, his Aveling Porter, and another tractor which I don't remember. And he says, I've saved my 300 best and most favorite. Now they may not be the most rare, but they're certainly the most favorite. But my other 2 brothers and my sister sure want to welcome you all to our sale at this time. The Aumann group, they've had a fantastic crew here the last few days. They got a Rumley truck running, an Avery truck they've been driving around here. They of course have the best 75 and some of those other really premier tractors in there at this time. They have them running, and if you as a betting man, I would bet you that they wouldn't have probably had it done. So, but again, I want to congratulate them on having these special things. There are special things in the deal. We have a Chrysler Woody. Of course, we have a Rolls-Royce cab. There is a Bentley there too. They're in various shapes of been repaired. My dad, if he had had his druthers, would have had every one of these perfectly finished, perfectly done. But as you know, time goes on, and he just enjoyed letting people. Of course, this was an educational free museum. He would love people to come, just lead them through, talk to them about it, and give tours. On a one-to-one basis, other than in these antiques, my dad almost visited with no one. But when it came to his antiques, he could visit from 1 to 50 people and have the time of his life.
So we are at the Arthur Bright Museum, and we have brought in a phenomenal crew to help us kind of go through things, and we've got some local experts, we'll call them, in the crawler world. And so this is Tom Madden, and we're standing next here to the Best 75 and a Holt 75 as well, and we were just kind of talking about the differences.
Yeah, so a little bit about Art Bright before we get into the tractors. So Art was the pioneer crawler collector, I think, in the world. I mean, Art started collecting in the 40s. The nursery started in 1945, and this was his passion, to save as many tractors as he could. And what we have is about a 300 tractor collection, plus about 40 cars. And what you have to keep in mind is he sold 2,500 lots 39 years ago, including 650 tractors and 450 cars, and he kept the cream. So we're selling the cream. So I'm lucky enough to be working with Aumann Auctions, and we put together a great crew to come in here and get these tractors out and ready and see the light of day, most of them for the first time in 40 years. And as Alex said, this is the best 75, and there's 5 running and driving. Now we can say this is running and driving after yesterday.
Yeah.
It hadn't run in about 40 years, so the crew got it going yesterday. There's about 10 total. Some are kits, some are in museums in Canada that will never run again. But this is a beautiful, beautiful example, a nice original tractor. And next to it is a Holt 75, and these were the flagship tractors. This was the flagship tractor that was developed by Benjamin Holt and Holt Manufacturing in Stockton, California. And this is the flagship tractor of Best that was developed in Elmhurst and San Leandro, California, in the teens. And so Alex wanted me to talk a little bit about the differences. So most people think, man, the Holt 75 is it. That's the greatest crawler there is because it's big, and there's a lot of them. There's probably 70 or 80 of these tractors, and they're a really, really great tractor. But the best, as our old friend Don Hunter used to say, that's the Holt. That's the best. And so what makes this thing unbelievable is Holt has rigid track frames, so you go over a bump, that front wheel could be 2 feet, 3 feet in the air. Best, as you see here, it oscillates up and down, so it goes with the contour of the ground, so it's a much smoother ride. You don't lose traction. It's also the first crawler with differential steering, which means you have constant power to both tracks, so when you're in a turn, you have power to the inside track and the outside track. The Holt 75 has steering clutches. So if you want to turn left, you throw out the left steering clutch, so it's freewheeling. So you only have tractive power to the right track. So it's a huge advantage to have, especially if you're going uphill. If you got to turn this thing going uphill and you got a load behind you, it'll snap 90 degrees so fast. That doesn't happen with this. The other one really neat thing about the Best, it's got power steering. So this is the first crawler that had power steering. So you can sit up there in the seat, and there's a handle here and a saddle, and you just push or pull, wanting to go left or right.
It's not assisted power steering.
No.
It is, you pull that lever and it turns.
So
it's not.
So these U-joints, there's the chain's missing here, but it goes onto a sprocket on the front of the crankshaft, and it spins this thing around, and that front wheel walks left or walks right. Huge, huge advantage over the Holt. If you look at the engine, the best engine is just massive compared to the Holt. It's only, this is 7 3/4 bore, the Holt's 7 1/2 bore, but it's just, the engine is just massive. People talk about this cast iron radiator. It's much more rigid than the Holt's. If you look at the Holt radiator over here, it's basically tubes and a manifold up here, and they typically have a sheet metal cover over the top of it, and they have to put these springs on them to keep it from bouncing. But these things come loose a lot easier, so it's a lot easier. You see a lot of these radiators that were pulled off of best tractors and put on Holt harvesters because that radiator is so much better. This tractor is 4,000 pounds heavier than the Holt, and to me this is the Cadillac of crawlers. If you could own one crawler tractor in the world, that's it right there. So if you want one of these things, you better come to the auction, because the last time one of these things sold was in 1986 at the Last Bride auction. And I'm fortunate to own that tractor now. That's been in the process of being rebuilt. But as I said, there's only 5 in the United States that are running and driving.
And this one just got running today.
Just yesterday. We got it ready
for 40 years.
40 years. So it's a tremendous, tremendous tractor.
It's amazing how many people are here and how they have a lot of information that I'm learning about the tractors. And some people even came from Illinois and spent the night so that they could be here today. So it's just really surprising. I didn't have any idea what to expect, and I'm really happy with visiting with all these people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. You got to talk to people I don't know, people I do know. They're loving all the antiques. It's wonderful. A little bit sad to see it go, but it needs a good home. And the people that are gonna buy these tractors are gonna give them a good home. So that's the positive side.
So yeah, it's really pretty great to see all these people here, and I've been just kind of walking around talking to people and listening, and there's a lot of people here that are, really know a lot about, a particular tractor. I was talking to somebody about a Reeves plow, and it's just interesting to see so many people with the different passions that my dad had. And so it makes me feel really good that his collection and his passion, his lifetime collection, is going to end up in the hands of people that have similar passions and find the same enjoyment out of some of this stuff that he did.
So what makes the Gary Sutherby collection so unique is Gary didn't just collect tractors or steam engines. He collected tractors, he collected steam engines, he collected gas engines, farm primitives, basically anything that was used on the farm. Gary was interested in having it, and he had everything displayed in his buildings where you could see most everything as well. Just the eye for gathering all of those different things really makes this collection a unique and it's almost kind of like a time capsule when we were pulling this stuff out. It had been many years since some of this stuff had been outside.
The Gary Sutherby auction would come to an end, and while the collection was filled with amazing items, there were some items that stuck out like a sore thumb. We got to see the 3060 Altman Taylor sell for $73,700. The 65 horsepower Case steam engine sold for $68,200. The 2050 Avery sold for $60,500. And finally, the 2040 Case sell for $51,700.
Yeah, my mom and I both feel that's like this stuff would deteriorate quickly if it stayed here, so having the sale is absolutely the right thing to do. And it's great to see the interest that people have. But it's going to be tough to know these barns are empty, and thinking about all the time that we spent working on this stuff and going and getting it and bringing it home with my dad. But I have those memories, and so I think I'm excited to know that it's not going to just sit here and rust, and other people are going to get to enjoy it.
Well, we're very happy with Aumann's. Everything has worked out good, and Chris has been just wonderful. If anything that we wanted, we would mention it to him and he would take care of it. So it's been really great.
Gary's family, they have been fantastic to work for. Anything that we ever needed out here, they always had it for us, whether it was a piece of equipment or just lunch or water or anything. They always made sure we had everything we needed. When we're pulling stuff out of the buildings, there's so many times where they're like, well, I didn't even know Gary or Dad had this. So we had a lot of fun going through the stuff, seeing what he had collected over the years, just in the amount of stuff that he had collected over the years.
Well, I hope everybody that buys the tractor or whatever enjoys it as much as what we did. And I hope they take the care that Gary did. He always took very good care of everything. And I'm happy. I mean, some of it might even go out of the United States. I don't know. But anyway, I'm happy with whatever happens. I hope it all turns out good.
While it can be difficult to say goodbye to sensational tractors like what you see here, we always have to remember that while our time with these items have come to an end, the story continues on. Next time on Old Iron Adventures. The Aumann Auctions crew head to the Half Century of Progress show in Rantoul, Illinois,